lower body training. I had my first lower day of the week yesterday. Today is Wednesday, June 21st as I'm filming this, and yesterday was Tuesday, June 20th. So currently, right now, if you watched my last training summary that I just posted a couple days ago with my pull workout, I am doing a push-pull split. So I actually decided to switch up my order a little bit during my week. I tend to be pretty flexible with my training schedule in terms of how my body's feeling or how it works out with my schedule or what gym I might be going to. So I did I believe a push day. Yes, I did a push day on Monday and then my leg day on Tuesday. So that was for my first set of 195 pounds, 4 sets of 10. I did two sets at 195 pounds for front squats for 2 sets of 10, and then I did 1 set of 10 at 200 pounds, which is shown here. So always with my leg days, I start out with some sort of a compound movement. So whether it be back squats, whether it be front squats, leg press, it really depends on the day. Right now my training is a little bit more flexible than during a time when I'm prepping for a competition. It'll be definitely a lot more specific when I'm coming up on a powerlifting competition because I need to practice the main lifts more often. It becomes important to get your technique down and also just get better at those lifts. If you do those lifts more, you'll get better at them. And so right now I'm not as concerned with being 100% the best and strongest that I necessarily need to be on those lifts because I am focusing more on bodybuilding and giving my body a little bit of a break. I'm actually consciously detraining myself from squats and from deadlifts and bench a little bit right now as I focus more on hypertrophy work and recover my body a little bit. So the next movement that I did after I did front squats, so right now I'm choosing to either do front squats or back squats. Yesterday I decided I wanted to go for front squats, so I did 2 sets of 10 at 195, 1 set of 10 at 205, and then I moved on to leg press. So here, what I just wanted to show you guys was the fact that I write down everything I do. I would encourage you guys, if you're having trouble with seeing progress in the gym, write down your workouts. Progress in the gym doesn't necessarily have to be an increase in weight. You can write down in your notebook, you did 5 sets of 10 at whatever weight this week, and then the next week you did 5 sets of 10 and it felt so much better and your form was better. Well, that's an increase. That's an improvement from one week to another. You don't necessarily have to increase the weight in order to have an improvement in your workout. So after leg press, so on leg press I did 400 pounds for 4 sets of 12. I moved on to hip thrusts. So these are 295 pounds for sets of 13. And the reason I'm doing sets of 13, it might sound kind of weird to some people, is the fact that from one week to the next I usually have volume targets. So I might add a rep or add weight. So last week I did 285 for sets of 13, and this week I did 295 for sets of 13. Next, after hip thrust, I moved on to split squats. Here I'm using 60 pounds and I did 3 sets of 12 on each side. So as you can see, my order of training goes from heaviest and the heaviest compound lifts and then slowly moves into more isolation work and the lighter lifts that don't require quite as much, can't find the bench. I do that all the time. That's why I hold on to a bench sometimes I do. Sometimes I hold on to a bench, sometimes I don't. But the majority of the time when I'm doing split squats, I hold on to a bench because I tend to lose my balance. But as you can see, the order of my training is very specific. I'm not doing split squats first and then trying to squat. I'm not doing hip thrusts I typically do after my main compound exercise. And so I have a very specific order. I know what wears me out the most. I know front squats are the most taxing for me in general, or back squats. So last week, instead of front squats, I did 3 sets of 6 at 315 pounds. And then this week I decided to go up to 10 reps, and I did 3 sets of 10 with 195 on front squats. That last set was 200 pounds, but I just track it as 195. The last set I decided to go up and just see how I felt. The set of 10 with 200 pounds was actually easier than it was 2 weeks ago, so that's progress. Progress doesn't always have to be necessarily increasing weight, as I mentioned, so I think that's something to focus on too. From 1 week to the next, you don't necessarily, you can make gains in quotations, you know, so much emphasis is placed on gains in ways other than just increasing weight. I mean, form should be everything. So see how deliberate I am. I'm sitting into my heel. I'm really focusing on my glutes. Form should be first and foremost on your mind in any motion that you do. If your form's improving, that's a really important improvement. So just because you're not increasing weight, you might even have to decrease weight. That's fine. Get your form down. Make improvements in that way. So here I'm doing cable pull-throughs. I did 3 sets of 15 with 135 pounds, I believe, or 35 pounds. So that was my last exercise. I also did a couple of calf exercises, and I finished off with BFR goblet squats, supersetted with BFR hip thrusts off the bench, as you can see. And I know it doesn't look like it would be much, but it is a burn, crazy burn. So I always finish off with the lightest exercises like BFR, and I don't wear myself out with BFR, and a little bit of posing. But as I was saying, I don't wear myself out with BFR before I do compound exercises. So I've leaned down quite a bit, just like to practice posing. I'm not sure of my competition plans right now. We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. As always, you can follow me, KatieN100, or PowerFit Performance on Instagram, and PowerFitPerformance.com. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.